Jessica Davis.
All right, so counsel, as to the arraignment.
Your Honor, we wait for reading stand viewed. I advise her of the charges and all the consequences involved in her rights.
All right, the court will waive the formal reading, enter a plea of not guilty for purposes of the arraignment, and as to the pretrial.
Your Honor, to consulting with my client and having conveyed the offer made by the prosecutor in that she wishes to avail herself of the offer and that she will plead guilty to the amended charge of attempt retail fraud. And Your Honor, she's been advised of her rights as to that matter. The prosecutor says that upon acceptance of that plea, the written charge is to be dismissed.
All right, and so your name, please raise your right hand, ma'am. You solemnly swear from the information, the testimony about to give this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you heard the plea that your attorney placed on the record, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
As to the amended charge of attempt retail fraud, how do you plead?
Guilty.
You've gone over your advice of rights with your attorney, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand all of those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand by entering into a plea, you'll be waiving some of those rights, specifically your trial and appellate rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand the possible penalty as a result of your plea, whether in this court or any other court or administrative agency?
Yes, ma'am.
And knowing all that, you want to continue with your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Any immigration issues?
No, there are none, Your Honor.
Anybody promise you anything, threaten you, or coerce you in any way for you to enter into a plea?
No, ma'am.
All right, and so, counsel, if you can please order your client.
Ms. Davis, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, taking your attention back to March 26, 2024, approximately 2:05 p.m. Were you in the city of Wyandotte?
Yes, sir.
And you had an encounter with the police, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Prior to that encounter, had you been in association with a group of people that, and I'm not saying that you were directly involved, but you had occasion to have some property that was not belonging to you, and you participated in trying to get money back for that property that had been taken by someone else to try to get a cash refund at a location in Lincoln Park, is that correct?
True.
And you got money back for that that property that turned out not to belong to you, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm satisfied.
All right, and the court is also satisfied the plea is knowing, voluntary, and factually accurate. The court will accept your plea per the plea agreement, and will schedule this matter for sentencing. And we can do, oh boy. I don't even know where to put this. I guess we can do May 1st.
Okay.
And then as to bond counsel,
What time on May 1st, Your Honor?
10 a.m.
Your Honor, as to bond, my client tells me that she's self-employed. She helps with construction on an on-call basis. She supports 3 children, not on probation or parole. Tells me there's nothing pending. There's no warrants to her knowledge. Your Honor, she was in the back seat of this car and ended up getting mixed up with the rest of them in this, what turned out to be a theft ring, I guess you could call it. But she was not directly involved, but indirectly in terms of trying to get the money back. So, Your Honor, this being the only matter she's got, we'd ask the court to consider releasing her on a personal bond or a bond she reasonably proposed. So there's no one to watch her children other than where they're at right now, but I'd like to go back to them.
Okay, so Where do you live, ma'am? Do you live on Canton Street or do you live on Claremont?
Claremont.
And how long have you lived there?
Almost going on 6 years now.
Have you changed your address?
No, ma'am, that was just the first place I had got my ID done over on,
Where's that, on Canton Street?
yes, ma'am.
Right, but you need to
Yes, ma'am.
change your address, ma'am. You need to change your address.
Okay.
Have you ever failed to appear in court for any reason?
No, ma'am.
All right, and, are you currently on probation or parole anywhere?
No, ma'am.
And are you out on bond or any other jurisdiction?
No, ma'am.
If you were to test today, what's in your system?
Say that again?
If you were to test today, what's in your system?
Probably hard.
Probably what?
Hard. Crack.
Oh, what did you call it? Hard?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Was it HARD? that she said?
I suppose so, yes.
I've never heard that term, but
I hadn't either. All right, so when's the last time you used that, ma'am?
That evening.
Okay, so you're not currently still under the influence, are you?
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, here's what the court's going to do.
Okay.
The court's going to, based upon the criminal history and the nature of the charges, the court wants to ensure the safety of the public. The court also wants to ensure that Ms. Davis is going to return. The court's going to order a $2,500 10% bond. I would presume your client's able to post that $250. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs unless prescribed. Also, once bond is posted, you are to report to probation at the 27th District Court within 24 business hours of your release.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
thank
And
you.
so, okay, let me just, for extra housekeeping issue, are you posting that bond, ma'am?
I'm not gonna lie to you and say I am because I have no communication with nobody right now because I have my information inside the truck.
Hold on, did you say you are posting the bond?
I hope so, but I'm not gonna make no promises
Okay.
because I have no info to call anyone.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I just want to know if you don't, we'll have to arrange for a PSI and then maybe an earlier sentencing date. So,
To be right.
we will, okay, okay, we'll check back on that one, but, okay. All right, we'll see you back on May 1st, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, and then we are on the record. Is this Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Okay, we're on the record, the matter of Christopher Gonzalez, 161098.
Your Honor, good afternoon. Richard T. Serrano, P33828, appearing on behalf of Mr. Gonzalez. And Your Honor, today is the time set for a violation of probation allegation. And I will explain to my client what that entails. Please state your name, sir.
Christopher Lee Gonzalez.
All right, well, it's a date time for a probation violation because your client's in custody, not because he voluntarily came in, because he's been on warrant status since August of 2016.
That is correct, Your Honor. I've spoken to my client at length, and Your Honor, he's anxious to get these back matters taken care of. He's going to plead guilty today to violating his probation. He agrees to the allegations set forth.
Okay.
I just got back.
Hold on,
from out of
just one
state.
moment. Just one moment, sir, hold on. Counsel, just so you know, on the other individual, I did forget to state that she's not to return to Ace Hardware.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's just an additional bond condition.
I
So,
don't think he's going to.
I'm not amending her bond or anything. I'm just letting you know that. I did state that, so, okay. All right, and so on, as to this probation violation, counsel, where it alleges that your client failed to comply with the payment plan, failed to report to probation June 28th, July 5th, and July 13th, all 2016, on his reduced charge of attempted possession of controlled substance. What's happening?
He's pleading guilty, Your Honor, as charged. He's, as he started to say, he lived out of state for a while and he let things go. He knew they weren't gonna go away by themselves, so he's here today. For whatever reason, he's going to plead guilty, and try to get these matters behind him. He understands he still has obligations to the court. And he hasn't made payments, but he's going to try to start making payment. He said he's been looking for gainful employment.
Clerk, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear affirm the testimony about to give this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, as to the alleged violation, sir, that the court stated, how do you plead?
Guilty. I need to get it taken care of. I am working right now. I can start paying, but I can't
Sir,
pay.
you'll have an opportunity for that, but please let me continue with the process, okay? You'll have an opportunity for that. And so you've gone over your advice of rights with your attorney regarding probation violation matters, correct?
Yes.
And you understood all of those rights.
Yes.
You also understand that by entering into a plea, you'll be waiving some of those rights, specifically your right to a contested hearing.
Yes.
And you understand the possible penalty as a result of your plea, whether in this court or any other court or administrative agency.
Yes.
And knowing all that, you want to continue with your plea.
Yes.
Anybody promise you anything, threaten you, or coerce you in any way for you to enter into a plea?
No.
All right, counsel, if you can please run to your client.
Mr. Gonzalez, you agree that you were placed back in 2016 on a period of probation with this court?
Yes.
And part of the court's order were that you pay fines and costs, is that correct?
Yes.
And have you failed to comply with your originally agreed upon payment plan by failing to make timely payments to the court for these past 8 years? Also, you were to report on a regular basis to your probation officer, is that correct?
Yes.
You agree that on June 28th, July 5th, and July 13th, all of 2016, that you failed to report as ordered for regularly scheduled probation appointments. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Satisfied, Your Honor.
The court is also satisfied the plea is knowing, voluntary, and factually accurate. The court will accept your plea per the plea agreement and indicate technical violations 1 and 2 will enter. And counsel, as to the recommendation.
Well, Your Honor, I misspoke. He is working. I'll let him tell you about that. He seems to want to, but he's on a limited income. He has one pending matter in Taylor, which he's going to address on a warrant status. He didn't remember what the charge was, but he's single. He does support one child, quarter child support, $100 per week, which he pays. Your Honor, we ask the court to let him get back on a meaningful payment program, pay what he can, try to get this matter closed out for him.
All right, sir, so you were out of state. When did you go out of state?
I was out of state for 6 months. I just got back 2 months ago. I've been back 2 months.
Okay, well, that doesn't explain why you didn't appear for anything in 2016.
Oh, I just left state. I moved. I moved out of state for a little while. I obviously
When
couldn't
did you
make
move?
it.
I asked you that, sir. You said you've been out of state.
Family. I moved because of family, personal.
I didn't ask why you moved. I asked,
Okay.
when did you move?
I don't remember the exact date.
Can you give me a year?
Last year sometime.
Okay, so let's go with 2023.
Sure.
Okay, great. And so what about 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022?
I
Where were you?
was here, right up the street at the same address.
Yeah, you didn't appear for any of your court dates.
No,
You didn't
I
appear for any
wasn't.
of your probation appointments, and you didn't pay your payment plan.
No, I wasn't. I didn't care about it back then. Now that I came back, I'm trying to get it taken care of. I just haven't been back long enough.
You've been back 6 months.
No, I've only been back 2 months.
Oh, 2 months. Okay.
I worked at BlackRock for 2 months. I've only been back 2 months, yes.
All right. And so, how are you in custody right now, sir? How'd you get in custody?
I was riding my bike home from work and got stopped.
Okay. So you didn't voluntarily turn yourself in? And so why should I not have your client just serve a term of incarceration? And since he didn't do anything with probation, he didn't even make any payments. And he's right up the street and he did nothing.
Back then I didn't want to do nothing, man. Now I'm almost 40. I want to get everything taken care of and actually, do something with my life. I've only been back 2 months, so I haven't had a chance to actually, I'm still trying to get everything in order. I just got a job. I just got moved into my apartment with my roommate. I know I'm trying here, but just one thing at a time. I'll serve the time. If I serve the time, will I have to pay any fines and costs? I mean, it doesn't matter. I would have just done that a long time ago.
Hang on, sir. He told me, he said that if it's possible, I'd rather serve the time than pay the monies. I said, well, one thing doesn't necessarily cancel out the other.
Well, why would you want to serve the time and lose your job that you just got?
I don't, but I'm saying if I have to, I will. I wish I would have just done it a long time ago. But if I still have to pay the fines, then there would be no point in serving the time. He told me if I served the time, I would still have to pay fines and costs. So what would be the point?
The point is that you didn't serve your probation time. You were sentenced to probation instead of jail. And so then you would be serving the time that you should have been sentenced to instead of probation. That would be the point.
I'm saying, okay, yeah. But do I still have to pay the fines is what I was asking.
Yes, sir, those are two separate things.
Okay, that's all I was asking. I am at the point where I want to get it.
I'm sorry,
if you will give me the chance. I said I'm at the point where I want to get it taken care of. If you will give me the opportunity to get it taken care of, I will do everything I'm supposed to this time. If not, I'll do the time. It doesn't matter. Either way.
Okay, well, I'm going to order 60 days jail. I'm going to suspend that jail. I'm going to set this for a review on May 7th at 10:30 a.m. In the meantime, sir, you're going to comply with the payment plan. So how much can you pay per month and what day of the month works best?
I get paid, my brain is still scrambled. I get paid every 2 weeks. I want to say the second pay cycle at the end of the month, because the first one I paid my rent. So it would be like, I don't know, at the end of the month, I would like to pay, and I can pay $100 a month.
Okay, so let me help you out here, sir. When's your next paycheck? Did you just get one or are you getting one this week?
No, I get one this Wednesday, and then I pay my rent.
Tomorrow. Today. Today's Wednesday.
No, a week from today. I'm sorry. A week from today, I get paid, and then, yeah.
Okay, so I will order, okay, so then the 3rd, and then you get another one on the 17th.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm going to order then April 20th will be, well, April 19th, because the 20th is a Saturday. Okay?
Okay.
So $100 per month beginning April 19th. If you miss a payment, sir, you'll be serving your jail time.
Okay.
And you'll still have to pay your fines, you still have to pay the fines and costs, but you're gonna be serving jail time too.
Gotcha. So I might as well, yeah.
And sir, if you were to test today, what's in your system?
On my Suboxone that I'm subscribed and marijuana. That's it, honestly. Swear. I'll take a drug test right now. I swear.
The court's gonna also order you to participate in random testing, not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs that are not prescribed. So, upon your release, sir, you'll have to, report to probation. You have to contact probation tomorrow, because they'll be closed when you are released. So you're to contact probation March 28th by noon to get set up with your testing.
Okay.
If you do not do that, sir, that's a violation, and you will be serving the time in jail. All right?
All right. Yep.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hold on. You cannot tell me this wasn't you that took this out of this. This has to be the grade file.
No way.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we're not needed, so, okay. All right, we are you, sorry, you ready, Detective Stamos?
Certainly, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, I don't want to rush you, I want to. All right, we are on the record in the matter of the state of Michigan versus Ryan Gullickson, 231201. And Detective Stebo, your name for the record, please.
Detective Steve Stable, Wyandotte Police Department, Your Honor.
All right, and, oh, sorry to do all that to you, I've already signed it, it's already been sworn to.
Your Honor.
But if you'd like to address bond, yeah, then I'll let you, have you, there for bond. And, counsel, your appearance, please.
Gold Club 30758 on behalf of Mr. Gullickson.
All right, Mr. Gullickson, your name, please, for the record. Can you hear me?
Mr. Gullickson, would you please put your name on the record?
The name is Ryan Gullickson.
All right, thank you. And counsel, as to the arraignment.
Your Honor, I've spent about a half an hour back there with Mr. Gullickson. He has addressed the issues with him. I would ask, in discussing with him, if we can have a formal reading on the record. I asked him if he, after I read the charges to him, I asked him if he understood the charges, and rather than answer yes or no, he continued to provide me with additional information totally unrelated to these cases. So I would hope that you can read to make this everything official, to read the charges on the record.
Okay, and so,
Sorry, Your Honor.
no, that's okay. I jumped ahead over here, so. All right, the court will note the following, sir. The court has before it a complaint that alleges you with 6 counts. It's alleged on April 25th, 2023, that you did flee and elude a police officer of 4th degree. It's alleged that you, in the city of Wyandotte, being the driver of a motor vehicle to whom was given a visual or audible signal by hand, voice, emergency light, or siren by Adam Grote, a police officer who was in uniform, and the officer's vehicle was identified as an official police vehicle, acting in the lawful performance of his or her duty, directing the defendant to bring his or her motor vehicle to a stop, did willfully fail to obey such direction by attempting to flee or elude the officer and increasing the speed of the motor vehicle, contrary to MCL 257.602A paren 2. This is a felony charge. The maximum penalty upon conviction is not more than 2 years in state prison and or a $500 fine. Secretary of State shall suspend license for 1 year. There are also 2 counts of assaulting, resisting, obstructing a police officer. 1 count each, one for Officer Alexander Sathakis, the other for Officer Adam Grote. I'm sorry, there's a 3rd count as well, that for Officer Morgan Yaradaki.
I believe there are five.
I'm sorry, there's a fourth one with Officer Stromberg. I'm just saying that, so I'm not reading them 4 times.
I understand.
It's alleged that you did assault, batter, wound, resist, obstruct, oppose, or endanger Officer Alexander Sapikis, Adam Grote, Morgan Gardaki, Adam Stromberg. Police officers with the Wyandotte Police Department that the defendant knew or had reason to know was performing his or her duties contrary to MCL 750.81D(1). Each of these counts are felony charges. The maximum penalty for each of these accounts is not more than 2 years in state prison and or a $2,000 fine. Consecutive sentence may be imposed under MCL 750.506A if the assault is committed in a place of confinement, or under MCL 750.81D(6) for another violation arising from the same transaction. Also, we have a reckless driving where that's a misdemeanor charge. Maximum penalty upon conviction is not more than 93 days in jail and or a $500 fine. As it's alleged that you did drive a vehicle upon a highway, that being 4th Street, in willful and wanton disregard for the safety of persons or property contrary to MCL 257.626. Also, you're charged with the commission of a felony in which a motor vehicle was used. If you are convicted and the judge finds that the conviction is for a felony in which a motor vehicle is used as defined in section 319 of the Michigan Vehicle Code, your driver's license shall be suspended by the Secretary of State. Do you understand those charges, sir?
Okay.
Okay. The court is going to also, sir, inform you of the following rights. You have the right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court will appoint one to represent you. And in fact, you got an opportunity to speak to an attorney today, correct?
An attorney would be appreciated.
Okay, you spoke to one today, correct?
Affirmative.
Okay, the court has also signed the order for court-appointed attorney for felony matters. You also have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have a trial by a judge or by a jury. You also have the right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing may be used against you in court. Do you understand those rights?
Okay.
Okay. And the court's entering a plea of not guilty on your behalf. The court's going to schedule this matter for probable cause conference on April 12th at 9 a.m. at the 28th District Court. And counsel adds to bond.
Your Honor, I did have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Gilholty regarding that matter. He is presently, at this time, self-employed, and he is waiting for certain contracts to be forwarded to him from different facilities. He's been self-employed as a investor, for lack of a better term, and most recently, approximately 2 years ago, he indicated to me that he was employed in Livonia to a restaurant business. He's single. I've reviewed the criminal record. When questioned regarding that, he indicated there has been documentation forwarded to the 36th District Court. But
To 36th District Court?
that's what he told me, Your Honor, as regarding that, but spoke no further on it. I cannot see anything from a prior criminal record. However, there appears to have been, if it's him, a CCW a number of years ago. With respect to that, Your Honor, we would ask for a reasonable bond in this particular matter. He's not on probation or parole as far as I'm concerned. I know this was an isolated incident, and discussing matters briefly with him and the information I was able to obtain regarding his alleged involvement.
Okay. And sir, are you out on bond in any other jurisdiction?
Appreciated to have information regarding that situation.
I don't have the information. I'm asking you for the information.
That was the same answer I got before.
Do you have a pending court matter, sir, in another court?
Is it okay with the Detroit court or the Wyandotte court to receive information regarding this situation?
Okay, we will receive information whenever we're able to. It appears as though you failed to appear in court in 35th District Court in Plymouth and for Northville, something with Northville. As well as East Point. As well as 22nd District in Inkster. And we have 40th District in St. Clair Shores. 52-3 in Rochester. 36th District Court. Thirty-sixth District Court, 36th District Court, 36th District Court.
This apparently all started with near 40 tickets received from Detroit law enforcement in Detroit with many of the tickets.
Excuse me, sir, I don't believe that at this point in time you should make any further statements which may have an effect on your defense presented here.
Okay, and so Detective Sabo, would you like to address bond?
I will, Your Honor, thank you. Isolated incident or not, as counsel said, we know that in fact we have several failed to appears. And based on that reckless manner, without any due care and caution, at ridiculously excessive speeds, that endangered not only 4 Wyandotte officers, but the public at large in general. In addition to, the violations of the motor vehicle code, I think it's more than reasonable that a $25,000 cash bond is applied. And if the defendant does post that a GPS tether condition might be placed on him. Additionally, no driving if he does not have a valid driver's license for the people, no alcohol or drugs that are not prescribed, and no new criminal charges. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if that could be, and I appreciate that, if that could at least be 10%.
Okay, well, here's what the court's going to do. Based upon the number of warrants that are still hanging around for Mr. Gullickson dating back to 2020, given the nature of the charges, the extreme risk to the public and the officers, the court finds that that bond recommendation is reasonable. The court originally had placed a $20,000 10% bond when it issued the warrant or signed the warrant. The court is going to order a $30,000 10% bond. In the event bond is posted, GPS tether through the Wayne County Jail. Or do you work from home or do you work at a location?
The most recent employment was with Livonia, Michigan.
Right, but do you go there for work or do you work at home?
There was a website with information that was provided here at this location for personnel.
And Your Honor, that's the information I got from him, on a website that was supposed to be.
Okay, but he's talking about a property, church property exemption. And he's saying his income is EBT. Length of employment to be determined.
He indicated to me that he is expecting contracts from different, businesses, but it was unclear as to what those contracts were.
Okay. Well, Mr. Gullickson does not appear to have any, does not appear to have any ties to community. Who do you live with, sir?
There is a daughter that visits.
What's that?
There was a daughter in Hawaii, but apparently she was in the area visiting the house.
Okay, well,
on his.
I have some concerns as to whether or not, Mr. Gullickson, is really aware of even what's going on. Here's what I'm going to do. The court's going to amend the bond. I have some concerns regarding whether or not Mr. Gullickson has any ties to the community or otherwise. So I'm going to amend the bond to be $50,000, 10% bond. And I'm also, counsel, going to refer Mr. Gullickson for competency to the forensic center.
Okay.
All right, we still are keeping the PCC for April 12th, and we'll go from there.
And Your Honor, to be quite honest, I didn't think that would be my place.
I understand.
That's why I
Understand.
allowed it to go away.
Okay, all right, I understand that. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good
All right,
luck.
have a good day. Oops, sorry, good catch.
Yeah,
All right. Okay, off the record.